I mean, go for it. We might need to spend some extra time catching Amy up.
Sure, that's all right. I have started recording.
All right, who wants to give some recap? Amy, what was the last thing you listened to?
So, we were in camp. Hang on, I'm just debating which is which. Ix and Astra, I believe, were talking to Soshu. I can't read my handwriting. This is why I'm a bit slow here.
It's okay.
Alex and Julius had their conversation. Nagi spoke to Walsh. Yeah, I think it was after we'd spoken to Soshu for the first time when we were deciding what trinkets to give him back. And we pretty much were just like, well, we don't know what the canisters exactly are, other than magical, but if he wants to take one, I suppose he could take some. So it was before we headed back to the city and before you all decided what the plan was going to be to get back into the city.
Okay.
The plan ended up being Sasha.
Yeah, I've caught up on that. I have notes on Ix's opinions.
Let's see.
I think Sasha has also been politely encouraged to scram at this point.
So we...
No, I think they're scrammed of their own volition.
Yeah, they fucking peaced out. Goodbye.
Yeah, they're gone now. But that was in the city when we were already there. But in between there was Nagi who talked to Walsh about her missing mom. So this was like a retcon a bit.
I saw that bit.
Okay.
Or was here for that bit.
And you heard that, like, he recognized the necklace or whatever the heck, right? You heard all that?
I think so, yes.
Okay. There's astrotype. Okay. So we had the granny thing. I'm looking through my notes. I don't have too much here because there was moments where I was soup. But
here's Granny talking to Soshu.
Right. Yeah.
And all of us vibrating quietly behind the scenes on the lines of what the fuck does this bastard have over Granny and how can we peel him out of his skin to make him stop?
Yeah, because it was basically Soshu had dirt on hit basically on Granny's granddaughter. So her life would have been in danger if
I didn't know the granddaughter bit.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Only
Julius knows.
That.
Yeah, he hasn't told anybody because he's respecting Granny's privacy. But if it gets brought up, it gets brought up. After that, there was session 51, which I have in my notes that Julius talked to Agathon, which I think was mostly about like, what was it? It doesn't really matter. And then he talked to Walsh a little bit. That was the same time, or the same day that he also had a conversation with, or Walsh also had a conversation with Ophaniel, I believe, which we weren't privy to, but they went in on their own and then came out looking a little bit, upset. I don't remember what else happened that day. In session 22, I was too soup for notes, apparently. But that was basically our stretch of going from the little camp that we were in before and onto the road, and that took about a week and a half or so.
Yeah.
In between that was just like normal travel, basically. We didn't have anything too eventful happen during that time.
Yep.
Other than that, Soshu had already been run off before we even left, so...
Bastard gremlin. Yeah. We need to adopt him.
We ended up. Yes, he is our wet. He is our wet cat.
He's our wet cat man.
Yeah. Hi, Lance. You want out? God damn it. Hold on. Basically, can't move so I can do this. Jeez. Then we got to the edge of the city at the gates, and there were sendings sent to Ravetta and Inaway about us being there. And we had an escort to the temple. And we were able to basically bring Color Shape in because Color Shape could become Person Shape-ish for our convenience. Hooray. wasn't nice for
They
them,
also
apparently.
severely do not like it.
Yeah. We also were able to body snatch Walsh at this time with a surprise tent flap yacht Sasha bomb to jump him. So he's Sasha-fied. Salsh. And basically we entered the temple and had a conversation with Julius's moms. There was a heartfelt reunion there with everybody, including Ophaniel and his moms and his dad. And basically they told us that they had a plan to use some of the government, like the people there, like the governor, the imperial governor, to like do some shit internally to help with the Walsh situation and hopefully get her back like some of her rights. And I don't know, they have a whole thing to deal with Walsh, hopefully. And after that we left to go in the city to have like basically 5 days or a week or so of just laying low because we were told to do that.
As well as downtime, which
yes.
if there was something in there in that set of downtime you wanted to do, Amy, I am absolutely willing to let you like split that in at the beginning of session.
And you also got, I believe, 200 gold as well if you didn't already add that into your funds. So, because all of us got some.
I did not.
Well, you would get that then.
Alex has a full plate now because he stole Walsh's armor.
Yeah.
And got it modified to fit him.
He did.
Wait.
He yoinked it.
Yep.
We
for,
still
for
owe...
way less than new full plate would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we still have money in the party funds as well, which I think we finally got a party funds thingy thing up too, so everything should be good in that. What else is there? Basically, after that, when Julius got back home, there was a, like, manila thing of incriminating letters, basically, about Walsh and his dealings from Soshu. So we got those documents as dirt from Soshu to use after Walsh. So, during that time, during the downtime, Julius did sendings to Watanabe and, technically Katsumi, which is one of the two people who were also in his in the cage that were said to be dead. Turns out she's alive, but like in a, I don't know, she's in a weird state. Not herself. Seem in my head is probably in the same situation as Nagi's mom. And so is Watanabe, which is the second one. So nobody really died from the cage incident, which woo,
Okay.
except maybe not good.
Parker just dabbed.
Also,
that reveal wasn't supposed to be for another couple of arcs.
smile. Julius has
Okay.
sending. I'm gonna make your life hell, except you made mine hell instead. But he also tried to do it with fucking my brain is not working.
Amaya?
Amaya,
Is that the name?
yes, it's Amaya, thank you. I was like, Ayase, that's not right. That's Nagi's thing.
Amaya.
Yeah.
Amaya. I made her. Brain didn't want me to say her name. But anyways, he messaged Amaya just trying to get a thing. Did not get a response from her. Dead silence. So either she's dead or can't reach her. Nobody's picking up the
spell
phone.
didn't even connect.
Yeah,
which
it was,
is, oh,
well,
she dead.
she might be dead or elsewhere. Anyway,
Just cross our fingers. It was the 5% for the in a different plane. Although I don't think that's true.
I sure hope she's not
died.
dead. Julius is like, oh, I didn't expect her to be dead. Anyways, Julie's shit
need you all-
aside.
I need you all to know I just made direct eye contact with Nocturne as he was saying that and took a slow sip of the acid.
She's
God.
fucking dead, guys.
Cool. She can't even explain herself. God damn it.
Bullying Nocturne.
Anyways.
Yeah?
I am bullying Nocturne.
Wow.
That's what this whole trip has been.
God. Dad bullies son. Real. Well, after that, Julius had a little freak out. Whatever, it's fine. He's fine. But we got near the end there, a runner came to tell us to come to the temple as quickly as we could, kinda. And we were greeted by...
You know, I had a friend she'd like us to meet.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that wording and that lack of warning is payback for us not warning her adequately about Rathrak.
Yeah, maybe. But in general, we did end up going back to like the under thing where Ophaniel used to live, kinda like that like cave system-y thing.
Yep.
We were led down there and we were met by the Imperial Governor Chihu? Chihu. Sorry, I couldn't see my eyes. Short orcish man with painted tusks and older and pot-bellied, as far as we know. And then another was a tall, dark-haired elvish woman in a humbuck in her early 30s and high elf. Vice Governor Chiosumi. And that was where we left off, was basically seeing those people along with Inoue, Rivetta. I think Ophaniel was there?
Just Inoue and Walsh.
Inoue and Walsh, okay. I thought there was more people there. But yeah.
And Rathray is also in here.
Yes. But
Yeah, Rathray is also here. Just kind of chilling.
In person shape or not?
Not in person shape.
Hell yeah.
Creature. But that is as far as my notes go. I don't get inspiration for this, but that's okay. Julius already has it.
So, Amy, would there be anything in those 5 days that Exalia would have wanted to do?
I mean, having been told that their drow persona is currently a no-go in the city, they're gonna spend kind of 24, 48 hours or so of it just pulling together a couple of new options for faces to use when they don't want to use this preferred face they've currently got. So just a couple of days of kind of pulling together, probably sitting and staring out the window and kind of picking up random features of people walking past to kind of build up new faces, practicing voices and mannerisms and things, and just kind of finding a corner to basically do the DM voices, essentially. If there is opportunity to go out shopping, Ix does need a few things, but if not, then they can wait until this whole next business is over and done with.
There is absolutely time to go shopping.
Okie doke.
Let me see her.
Do you want to hold her?
I want to hold her.
Did I thought I heard her meow, or was that my cat?
That was Cleo.
Oh my god, I love her. Oh, she's so small.
Let me see.
Let
me see.
Oh, she purring.
It is her favorite hobby.
She's rubbing her face on you. That's so cute.
That is so cute.
Do you want me to grab the Claritin from downstairs? Do you want me to grab the Claritin from downstairs?
Yes, please.
Oh my god, she's so cute.
So also deodorant I bought.
Yes, I'll just bring the bag upstairs.
I forgot to grab the part of my allergy meds that make me viable to live around cats.
Oh no.
So I had to buy some from CVS.
Oh, L.
But it's fine, I was basically out at home.
Well, at least you could get some. She's so baby, look at her.
Baby cat.
Baby cat, baby cat. Oh.
She just wants to like chill here.
Oh. She
loves to be held.
She wants to be held.
He's just like sitting on my tits.
It's a shelf.
They are a convenient cat cushion. It's free seat and it's kitty shelf.
Kitty shelf. Perfectly cat-shaped. God. I love her.
I'll take mine.
Alright. What topping do you want to do, Exalia? Sorry about cat.
It's okay. No. There is always time for pause for cat. I mean, X really does kind of want a weapon upgrade, but I'm not sure they have enough money for that at the moment.
What sort of weapon upgrade?
I mean, I'm assuming a short sword +1 is going to be considerably more than the kind of 400 and something gold that they currently have.
Oh yeah.
So I was thinking maybe a rapier, but then that fucks up the 2-weapon fighting a little. I will think on that because those are my only 2 real sensible options at this level, but I will have a poke at things.
Alright, anything else?
A periaptive health, for definite, if they can afford it.
Let me look at it. I just need to check a few things.
Do I mean periaptive health? I don't mean periaptive health, I mean the other one.
Wound closure?
Yes.
Yeah, because I think the one of health is a lot more expensive, I think.
Yeah.
Because that one, like, gives you hit dice or something, I forget.
It's uncommon, as per handbook, but I don't know if you've got it down as different in-game.
Hold on.
They might need to beg or borrow some money from, or go pickpockets or things, get some more money from group funds.
Let's just steal, guys. I think we should steal more.
I feel like even Ix in reckless mode wouldn't be quite so stupid as to go picking pockets when you've all been told to, you know, lie low for a while.
Lie low.
So, periapts of wound closure are objects that are common but fairly specialty in that the way that most people who buy them are either soldiers, mercenaries, or adventurers, right?
Yep.
And by soldiers, I mostly mean the high-ranking officers of an army that the military wants to protect. So, while it is easy to find one, they're going to be a little bit more on the pricey side for uncommon because people know that they can get that kind of money from the people who want it.
Yep.
So you're probably looking at about $375.
X can totally pay 375 gold for that.
And that's why they charge $375 for them.
I mean, it does wipe out most of X's money at the moment, but hey, if we're not doing weapon upgrades right now, then they're good with that.
Alright, you may have one.
Thank you very much.
I want to see it. I want to see what that does, because maybe Julius wants one.
X now has a whole 59 gold left.
It auto stabilizes you, and whenever you roll a hit dice to regain hit points, you double the number of hit points it restores.
Yeah.
But basically, you automatically stabilize.
And I figured with X still being reasonably squishy.
Yeah. I was thinking about it.
The fights and things.
It
made sense for them to have that.
Yeah, I gotta look.
Don't you love having a DM who has historical, economic, and social theory knowledge?
Yes.
I should have looked more into the uncommon magical items, because I want Julius to buy some, but yeah, no.
The high range of uncommon tends to sit at about, like, the highest you'll go for an uncommon item tends to be about, like, a 500 to, like, 550.
Okay.
But wound closures for the people who usually buy them, like a high 300, low 400, depending on your range, your area, is likely.
Gotcha. I might come at you later this episode with a could Julius buy that have retconned bought this. Maybe. We'll
Yeah.
have to see. I don't know.
All
I
right.
want him to have more shit, but, you know. It's
Additionally, Amy, would you roll me an intelligence check?
Oh, that's a scary request. Does it have to be intelligence?
Okay, this is a check to determine how well you can make a new face from watching people in a window.
Okay, cool. That is a 6. I do have the actor feat. Would that maybe give me a bonus?
Okay, so the face itself is a little. It's not your best work, let me just say. But
They're stressed.
with the actor feat, you think you might be able to pull it off, like in an emergency, but probably might it might not hold up to scrutiny,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yep. I mean, they have others that
Mhm.
they're more practiced with, but losing one while they're in the city is kind of a bit making them a bit nervous.
Maybe if you like workshop it and spend a couple of hours like in a mirror or something, you can get it better. But like as it stands right now, functional, but you probably don't want to like put it up against like a spy master or something.
Thank you, Doke. It's a one-off face rather than a use it repeatedly face. That's cool.
Mm-hmm. So we can jump forward back to our
the original timeline.
Indeed. I'm gonna actually use this music. I have 5 music tracks for the City of Horitari, and I keep having to cycle through them.
Actually, I have my own music playing in the background. I'll switch to the...
It's fine. I just always like to have something going for people.
Yeah. Yep.
Alright. Imperial Governor Kyochihu is a portly-looking gentleman. Very, very round, I will say. Not only just like in girth, but for a half-orc, he is uncommonly short. And in general, kinda looks like an oval.
God.
He's an ovular man.
Mr. Egg!
Eggman!
Even then, the air he carries about him, I actually don't like this.
A little too tense.
Yeah.
There we go.
He is holding himself very stately. And he has this sort of very fine, beautiful sort of light blue kimono. Not the same type of blue as the temple, but sort of ombre.
Nice.
And with very nice silver detailing that sort of crawls up the fabric. His sort of salt and pepper hair is sort of close cropped, and his 2 tusks, which are probably the most distinguishing thing about him, are, you're not sure how it's done, if it's done by paint, if it's done by implant, if it's done by any other way, but there are sort of blue swirling decals that run up them towards the tip.
Very neat. Very cool.
Yes.
And the way he looks at you here now is not unkindly, but very professional.
Yeah.
He is more personable than his companion next to him. Imperial Vice Governor Cho Sumi, who again is a very tall, slender, high elven woman with long black hair in a braid trailing down her back. Her hanbok is very plain at the top, but then as you get towards the bottom, it's sort of printed or painted or woven as though there are trees in bloom.
Cool.
She looks younger than Shihu, though she is an elf. And Julius, you would know, she has been a staple of Southern politics since before the reunification war.
Yeah. So she's quite old to have been in politics that long in general.
Yeah. Very, very, very smooth features, actually. She's not unbeautiful. But not that, like, ethereal beauty that a lot of elves tend to have.
Mm-hmm.
Slightly darker skinned. And her most defining feature, I would say, is probably her eyes. Though they are not an unusual color, they are a nice sort of warm chocolate brown. You can almost... The way she looks at all of you, every single one of you, as her gaze passes over you, you can feel her sizing you up.
Yeah.
You can't tell what conclusion she's drawing. She's very stoic, she's very held back. Again, not unkind, but very unapproachable, I would say.
Yeah.
But not in like a mean way, but just a very like intimidating way. And particularly for Julius, who knows who this woman is, intimidating is a very accurate word.
Yeah.
There is an intelligence in her gaze that you can all just know. But it is Chihu who steps forward upon introduction and gives you all a slight half bow, as is customary for government superiors towards their inferiors.
Julius will give a slight, like, he doesn't do politics, but he at least knows formality and will kind of do his deeds when it's necessary.
You all are meant to bow at a slightly deeper angle.
Yeah.
Alex watches what everyone else does and then does that.
Yeah, I feel like Julius does like side eye as he does it, just so like you'll follow suit.
Most of you at this point, having interacted with like Waki Kenjiro and a few other officials, are sort of getting a sense for at least the general air of the formalities when you meet someone in your superior in this area of the world. But Julius and Irene are the ones who are sort of modeling, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know a little bit. Because
yeah.
This is home.
And with Inway's introduction, he sort of... Good morning. Sorry for the sudden summons. I apologize if we interrupted.
It was not an interruption. It's alright.
He kind of looks at you, Julius, and sort of... it doesn't even take him much more than a heartbeat, and just goes, Mr. Satoshi? Is that alright to call you?
Yes, that's alright.
Mister. Oh.
It's not like it's inaccurate.
Yes, well, the summary of events I've been given implied your implied choice of formal greeting might be a little complicated for you. I wish no offense.
It's applicable. He just kind of nods a little bit. I appreciate your delicacy.
Well, I sure hope I have some delicacy.
Julius does grin a little bit at that.
He is also kind of grinning. Well, and I think Inway sort of makes general introduction for the rest of the crowd.
Okay.
My mom.
And he goes, well, speaking of formalities, I suppose, apologies if I come across blunt or otherwise informal with you all. I must admit, I was not expecting this particular sort of thing to cross my desk. Ever. So...
Julius gives a slight smile. I don't think most politicians are. If I may be frank.
I don't think most anyone is.
He gives a very nod and sort of an amicable chuckle and just... Well, I'm not a stranger to temple politics here, but this is a new one, I must say. So, I've been speaking with Inway and Thomas.
Thomas.
Almost.
Thomas.
Thomas.
And I believe that the three
Walsh
of us...
react to being first named.
Walsh is being supremely polite and formal.
So normal.
To be fair, she who addresses both Inway and Walsh with their first names.
Yeah.
And is probably on first name basis with the both of them.
I would assume so, yeah.
Wow.
Considering their relative positions.
Mm-hmm.
If you expected him to react to anything, it might have been the tone. But
Yeah.
even then, he is very... I am so normal.
God.
He goes, Inway and Thomas, we have, I believe, reached a agreement about events to transpire. However, I wish to speak with all of you as it would be better if we were all in agreement and on the same page before moves were made.
Alright.
And I recognize that the agreement reached here may not be entirely satisfactory to some wronged parties. And he's looking at you, Julius, when he says this. However, if any of you have alternate suggestions, I would be pleased to hear them.
Well, currently I don't have any
Go.
that would not, or that would align with, Walsh's well-being.
Ix opens their mouth, looks around the room, and then closes their mouth again.
Yeah, I feel like you guys should probably lead with the suggestions.
We are, unfortunately, a very biased party. Asta is going to tug on. Julius is. Julius is taking point, but yeah. So I think tug on Julius's sort of overgarment a little bit and offer up the envelope.
Oh,
I thought
Alex has it.
Alex has
Yeah.
it.
Oh no, Alex has it. Sorry, I forgot. That is so redact that.
That's a good reminder.
We do
Alex
have information, is what Julius probably would offer up if Alex looks like, or not Alex, well, Aster and Alex, if they look like they want to send forward the information, Julius will kind of like gesture for them to step forward with the information.
Yeah, Alex will like look at Julius, get the like go ahead, and then
Julius
step-
gives like a
step-
slight nod, and he will explain what the document is. Just like, this was information a source of ours procured that may be of some use in convicting him, or at the very least. And he kind of glances at Walsh a little bit, and then looks back. Will be of some weight.
Shihu kind of claps his hands together and he's like, any paper trail is lovely right now, actually. And Alex, as you step forward, neither Chihu or Sumi reacts to you, but you can feel Walsh's gaze snap to you.
Like, Alex does not look at Walsh, not even for a second. Like, his eyes don't even go in that direction.
Julius doesn't look at him either, but he is smirking a little bit.
Ix is full on grinning at Walsh.
You can all feel Walsh staring at Alex. But he's so normal. He's so normal in his child basement.
Yeah, Alex.
Completely respectful right now.
Totally.
Alex steps forward with the documents and then kind of looks between Shihu and Sumi. It's like, which of you would like these?
Sumi holds out her hand towards you.
Alex hands them over.
And she takes them. Her movements are very graceful, I would say. Very practiced, very... The air she gives off is like... Whereas Chihu is kind of like, this is a weird situation. I don't fully know what to do here. Sumi is shockingly maintaining her professional composure entirely.
Bless her.
As if she's been in this situation 24,000 times.
She probably
God
has.
Bless.
And she takes it from you, and she has a couple of papers already tucked in one arm, and she kind of puts them on top, and you see her start to scan the first page and pull it back and start to scan and you watch her go through these papers at a surprising speed.
Hopefully it will be of some use to you.
Julius, this woman is trained as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Speed reader.
Yeah.
Love it.
So Sumi is pretty famous on her own, not even just as the vice governor. So that's why I'm just giving you information about her.
Yeah. This is the person where it's like, Julius, if I ever went up against her, I would lose in a heartbeat. I'd be sent off.
So as she's sort of scanning through things, Chihu kind of goes, well, again, thank you. So if we're going to lead with our plan, the agreement we have all reached is that while Thomas will not be in official custody, my office is going to arrange for his imminent return to the Emperor's Court alongside a amicable and uncontested divorce. between Inway and Thomas, with all parental rights returning to Inway Satoshi.
Julius will nod.
Additionally, Thomas will resign his position within the temple here. And this information, alongside other information, as we have it, will be returned with Thomas to the Emperor's court and placed in the trusted confidence of executive individuals there.
While he's listing off these things, can Julius get a beat on what, like, side-eye look at Walsh, see what his reactions are to this?
Roll an insight.
Okay.
Can Ix do that as well?
Can I
We
also
were
attempt
watching him a second ago.
Okay.
Yes, everyone who is here may, if they desire.
Everybody insight Thomas.
Insight Thomas! Okay, I only rolled a 15.
Ooh.
Terrible.
That's just a 19 for me. I'll put it in chat real quick.
22 for Ix.
17.
I need to roll with D20.
Let's see your shit, Walshy boy.
Really? Okay, I guess I'm rummaging through the bag for my dice.
It's
Come on,
better than my
Tom.
6.
Oh. Dude.
After you are a bit too busy, unfortunately, at the moment. Sumi has sort of caught your attention. Not because, like... And she's caught your attention because something about her is familiar. Not her specifically, but something about her demeanor, something about the way she is acting reminds you of somebody. And you are trying to figure it out in your brain.
Yeah.
The rest of you can see Walsh is aware that this is what the terms are that he has so far agreed to. He is not very happy.
Yeah.
Particularly, he seems quite upset about turning over his parental rights.
Yeah, I figured that was what would piss him off the most.
What?
Uh,
Buddy, you put your child in a basement.
He
So-
had a chance to be a good father and he fucked it up. He doesn't get a second.
Yeah.
that does not mean he cannot be salty.
Yep.
Walsh in the salt
God,
mines.
this makes me think of my dad being like, I'm a great father. Meanwhile, his children hates him.
The other thing is that is seemingly what he is most focused on,
Yeah.
and if he is upset about returning north, it seems like he is more upset about the concept of the geographical move rather than
whatever that means to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Well, nobody's gonna kill him up there unless they really want to, I guess. Or at least he thinks they won't. Damn.
Chihu is continuing. And again, I understand this is an agreement that does prohibit certain criminal and legal actions taken against Thomas. But certain priorities among the negotiators, as we had them, placed that a little bit lower on the rank than other agreements.
Honestly, that's just fine with me. I didn't expect to get anything from him. Quite honestly, anything else I could have gotten would be bonus revenge of some sort, and there's no real need for it, as long as he's away from my family.
She-Who nods. Sort of takes another step forward towards you, and though his voice lowers a little bit, you're not sure if it's actually, like, meaning to keep it from anyone else, or
Yeah.
if just putting up the show
Okay.
of a confidentiality.
Yeah.
When he says, while there might not be official movements, I imagine there will be many parties disappointed with the outcome of events here in the court.
Julius nods a little bit.
I won't even make you roll an insight, but you can tell, like, he is trying to imply some things that he can't say out loud.
What can I gauge that he is implying? Is he implying, like, people are gonna be pissed about me doing this? Or, like...
Roll an insight.
Okay.
Let me... Oh, that's... Oh my god, that's a natural 20. Hold on, what's my insight modifier? 4.
Yo.
24.
Gotta love the thematically timed nat 20s.
I know, I thought it was gonna be cocked because
Yeah.
it fell in the center, but it didn't. I'm so pleased.
So the implication here is twofolded. One, it is implying that Welsh is in some ways likely due some sort of consequence when he gets up north.
Yeah.
She who can't predict exactly what. But
Somebody's
the
gonna be
look,
displeased.
somebody's going to be displeased, although you're not sure if it's displeased about the child abuse and neglect,
Yeah. Or the
Or-
demotion of power.
or if it's the demotion of power, yeah.
Why not both?
The other implication here is indeed a little bit of a warning.
Yeah.
There's nothing official, so you think you're probably not going to be like expecting like a proclamation from the Emperor's court, like declaring your arrest or anything.
Yeah.
Um,
I've already gotten arrest warrants. I don't need the Emperor to want me dead, too.
but maybe if you have the ability, might be a place you don't want to go.
Yay. Guys, we can't go north, sorry.
Why? Who wants to go north anyways?
To be fair, he is saying specifically the Emperor's court and not the
Yeah.
North in general.
That's true. Let's just
So we
not
just-
go
as
see the
long as we-
Emperor.
Yeah. Why? What reasons do we have to see the Emperor other than get executed?
Parker gestures to the plot. The Emperor is waiting.
I feel like I feel like bringing Granny into the vicinity of the Emperor might end in attempted regicide.
Yeah.
Or let's not.
Oh wait, now we
Wait,
have to go to the
and do
Emperor.
Well, we gotta wait till we're level 20, then we can take one.
We turn level 20 and then we just kill the Emperor. It's like he can't stop us then.
Sorry, Parker, go ahead.
He then sort of, additionally, Mr. Satoshi, as thanks from my office for, let's call it, outstanding and righteous actions committed on behalf of the Horitari community. I would be willing to let a few, let's call them arrest warrants, get lost in judicial papers.
Yes! Official pardons for Julius.
Yeah.
It's not an official pardon, but
Unofficial accidental oopsies of paperwork.
Oopsies! Got this folder full of Julius arrest warrants. It's fallen in the trash bin.
Julius? Do you mean Julio Julius? I think that's the guy you want, actually. Sorry.
We are not recreating the plot of Les Mis.
No.
Julius? No, you want Julie us.
Julius. Totally different
First
guy.
name Julie, last name us.
They look so similar, guys.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
This car goes the other way.
he finishes after giving you a little bit of a wink.
I think Julian, not in my same reaction. He looks a little bit stunned at that.
In return, I was hoping that a promise of discretion made to Inway would be extended indefinitely. Regarding events transpired here.
Of course. That would have been a given in general for me. That would be wonderful.
Excellent. Well, this has gone swimmingly. I was expecting more pushback.
In what way?
If I'm being honest. I wasn't sure, but considering how the last 5 days of my life have gone, Mr. Satoshi. In fact, considering the way the last 15 years of my life have gone, Mr. Satoshi.
Well, I'll try not to make the rest a burden for you.
Oh, that will happen whether or not you try. Sumi at this point gives a dainty little clear of the throat. And she kind of looks over his shoulder at her and he goes, "They promise discretion. I can be a little... Fine, sure." It seems like there's an entire conversation that occurs in that one throat clearing.
Do you want it in writing? He's gonna look at her.
And Sho Sumi speaks for the first time. And this is where I'm going to kind of put a little DM meta asterisk on some things here.
Mm-hmm.
I am a big fan when people manage to differentiate individuals based on accent. And considering the regionality, Chosumi would carry a much heavier northern accent.
Mm-hmm.
However, I am also not about to attempt to do a Korean accent as a white person.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
instead, I am going to be assigning certain areas various accents that I can do and feel comfortable doing, that are meant to sort of distinguish things. I am not then saying that, say, the Northern Chalasian region is about to be, for example, British.
Yeah.
They are still Korean. I just want to do accent work.
I mean,
Yeah.
Granny doesn't.
Fair.
Granny has a vaguely English accent. Ix has a vaguely Southern European accent. I think you're spot on with whatever you want to do.
Exactly.
Yes. I just want to, put this out here.
We as majority white people do not want to do accents of countries that we do not belong to, nor ethnicities.
The history of yellowface in acting is too broad for me to feel comfortable for doing a Korean accent.
Yeah.
If history was
We're
different.
aggressively aware of this and trying to mitigate the amount of...
Yes.
Exactly.
I am making a lot of decisions based on appropriation versus lampooning versus all of these things as I develop this sort of setting. So
Yeah.
this is another tightrope line I have to walk.
Yep.
God bless.
The personal cringe it would do to do that sort of accent. Yeah. Yikes.
Not that my high school theater teacher didn't try to make us all do Japanese.
Oh,
Anyway,
no.
No.
we talked her out of it.
Thank God.
We talked her out of it. We talked her out of that one in the Indian accent very quickly.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
It is a very popular thing to do an Indian accent, unfortunately.
I loved Doreen Dunn to my core. She was 70 years old in the 2010s.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
That'll do it.
And considering how good she was about a lot of other things, I am choosing to believe this is just a blind spot that she developed from teaching theater in Central Ohio for 20 years.
That'll do it.
Fair enough.
Much like some of my my Midwestern teachers that I adored, sometimes there's blind spots.
This is of course not excusing, but this is like, I adore her to pieces. This was a little cringe, but it wasn't like she was a blatant racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. So when Chosumi, he goes, she speaks, she goes, actually, conveniently, I already have a legal contract drawn up. And she pulls out a piece of paper from within her armful of papers.
I knew it. I knew she was a legal person. Hell yeah.
Oh, she's very
Figure
classy.
out whose vibes, who he's getting so strongly reminded of.
Make a history check.
Play.
I need a brush.
15.
Right. I am looking for her name at the moment. You are getting reminded of, not the general above Tina, but another general for the DPC.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I will find it eventually. It's in my DPC notes. Oh my god. And believe me, those things are long.
Notes everywhere.
Asta sort of, it has already been standing fairly straight and fairly attentive and respectful, but there's a little bit of a sort of shift and straightening of the shoulders.
Oh right, so founder. It would be General Zen A, who no wait, this is the general above Tina. Who is the general for this particular geographic area.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's kind of the air and the vibe that you're getting.
Yeah.
So, and it clicks in your brain and you're like, oh god damn it, General Ah. And Sumi pulls out a it's a little bit of a longer sheet of paper, and it's a couple of pages thick. Very nice stationery, very thick, very, very set paper. And she sort of motions over towards the table that Ophaniel had at one point, the set of table and chairs that were already here, and she lays out the contract for you.
Alright. Julius is
and
gonna take a look-see.
she places an ink pot and a reed pen.
Julius is a professional. He's going to read the contract.
Okay. Make an intelligence check.
Okay. Okay. You said intelligence check?
Yes.
My
I
intelligence
how
plus
we're
3,
like,
that's
does
nice.
it have to be intelligence today?
Well, he has pretty decent intelligence, that's plus 3, so...
Somebody does.
17 intelligence.
Yeah, okay. The majority of this is a fairly standard non-disclosure agreement.
Alright. I'm familiar with that.
With a couple of sort of tidbits thrown on.
Yeah.
Nothing that is going to fuck you over. It seems as though when it comes to this sort of government contract, Sumi covers her bases.
Yeah.
And whereas in a lot of NDAs there would be in places some sort of general language in places to try to like create umbrellas of safety.
Yeah.
She's a little more specific.
Yeah.
It's not so specific as like entirely enumerating things, but it seems like she is uncomfortable with broad umbrellas.
Yeah.
As if she's been in this for a very long time.
Yeah.
And has seen some of the legal bullshit people will pull.
Yeah, there's a lot of wiggle room in the wide umbrella. We want to narrow this shit down.
Yeah, so where those extra clauses are, it's fairly easy just to see where she is sort of like brass tacks knuckling down on.
I feel like as he's reading, he's like nodding in like approval about it. Just very nice. All right.
There is one clause that sort of catches you that's a little bit unique in that as I'm trying to figure out how to describe it, sorry.
That's okay. I just want to make sure you
as your eyes kind of hit that point, she sort of closes her throat and goes, to clarify, and I was going to mention this before you signed, the contract is written with ink infused with abjuration magic that will let me know if the terms of this contract are broken.
I feel like Julius pauses and he goes, fancy. It's very useful.
Perks of the office. And the clause is essentially just like acknowledging that you know that is the case.
He does look up at her mentioning that and just kind of gives her a slight like smile and nods.
I'm gonna go get some water.
And I suppose he will sign. How is he? I'm trying to think what he wants to sign this as. I think he might do a mix of two. He's gonna sign it as Julius Satoshi.
Fair enough. And to clarify, the bounds of the contract are very similar to the DPC and NDA that you signed.
Yeah. Julius is like, I've signed two NDAs.
You all keep doing things that make NPCs around you be like, I need you to never talk about this again.
Yeah. Whoopsie. Wait, is there any clause in here about mind reading? Because that's not speaking about it. That's an accident.
The contract is very much like willingly and knowingly disclose the information regarding. Right.
So it would count if I telepathically told somebody something, but it wouldn't if they forced the information from me.
Yes.
Got it.
And there's very much like you can talk about it amongst yourselves.
Those within the NDA.
Yeah, you can talk about it with the governor's office, and you can talk about it within the court of the emperor as well.
God. Yeah. Alright.
There is also, because this is a thing in NDAs, a way to petition.
To get it changed.
To get it changed or given special permissions.
Gotcha. Cool.
Julius, you know a little bit about this sort of thing. It is very clear this woman handwrote this contract, and it's very good.
Yeah. He respects it. I feel like Julius, like, back in his ye old cage days, probably did a couple of these at one point. Not in any big thing, but most definitely was like, sign this contract to people.
Yeah. Additionally, with the party, all 4 people in the room will sign it. And there are a couple more spaces where underneath you can see printed cosigns for Rivetta, Ophaniel, and Agathon that have not yet been signed.
Yeah. Gotta keep it within the family, guys. Well, fuck you, Walsh. Julius signs his name with a flourish.
And then there is also one more spot for like a notary.
Yeah.
But
witness.
Yeah, that seems not mentioned, and like the governor will take care of it.
Yeah.
They can.
Yeah,
they can
that
get,
makes sense.
They have a lot of notaries and staff. They're fine.
Yeah.
Me knowing thing about contract and notary law.
Yeah.
No.
Fucking.
Me,
why do I have all this knowledge in my brain?
Me looks at Legal Eagle like, yes, I know some.
Chihu during this time is absolutely willing to make like small talk and like chat with the rest of you.
Bless him.
If desired. Compared to Sumi, he's a very approachable fella.
Guys, we can't let this governor die. He's gotta stay governor.
How is he dying?
I'm just saying,
Who
if
is
something
killing
bad
him?
were gonna happen, we can't let this one go. Not yet.
Like at some point, like he turns to Astrid and he goes, "Your accent, you're very open, yes?
Yes.
Where from?"
Joe need to check the name of the city that he gives. Me.
One more time.
Me.
Lost that word again.
He's relaying the city that you have given me as his.
Ah, yes. Sorry. Chihu
I had to look it up.
Yeah. Chihu nods and goes, "Oh, it's a lovely place. I've been there. When I was young, I did part of my internship over there with a diplomat."
So Esther nods and just kind of, it's been a while since I've been back. I've been traveling as part of my training.
Well, I suppose it makes very well evidence that travel during training is a useful bit of experience.
I've seen a lot that I never could have expected.
Well, he sort of looks over his shoulder where Rathray is.
Yeah. Aster is basically like looking at the point of wall slightly to the left of Rathray. Because while he's learned to mitigate the effect, it's not pleasant.
Yeah, he nods. I'm willing to admit that your travel and my travel had slightly different expectations. Although, you see enough, noble affairs and you become desensitized to a lot. Anyway.
Hmm.
I think Asta might try to sort of gently derail the conversation to like ask about other places that this man has seen and
Yes. He talks a bit about, he spent some time, not in the court as like as a retainer or anything, but as like, he was an administrative assistant. Somebody, somewhere, you kind of lose where, who was actually, part of the court, and was transferred down here eventually, and he's been a couple of places as his role in governor, having to show, show himself up at various places. Mostly Periapo and Palond.
yeah.
Although he does talk a bit about, he ends up waxing a little bit about, some of the seafood you can get in Pelund. And, like, best salmon he's ever had. He has a very easy sort of charisma to him.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Though just sort of you can kind of understand a little bit.
Yeah.
Why him, essentially.
Yeah. This is a man who is very
Sociable guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a...
very good at people.
They needed a dude like this after who the fuck was with them before.
Yeah. He says he's been to Calais, which is the capital of Poland, and he's been through the port at Bachelchin. Though he tells you, if you can avoid it, don't sail out of there. It's... Unless you have the capital to charter yourself something more luxurious, the standard arrangements on a lot of ships out of there are not the most comfortable.
Huh. That kind of piques Julius's interest a little bit. What did they do in that city? Trade-wise.
Oh, Basachin?
The one with the chips and stuff.
Yeah. He sort of asked, just to clarify, you're talking about that place, and
Yeah.
he... Well, it started as a fishing port, mostly. So much of its infrastructure is built for larger fishing ships than passenger travel. You know, big, large things with nets come in, come out with the day's tide, or even out a week or so, just to keep the region fed. There are of course passenger and other commercial ships, but a lot of the lower priced ones are fishing ships that have been converted.
Right.
So are not always built for passenger comfort.
Alright. Good to know.
If you want really good travel, you'll want to go to Calais, which is the capital. A bit more of a trip from here, but worth it if you don't want to be sleeping on hammocks and surrounded by the stench of fish guts. They never quite get that out.
Julius makes it out of the face.
That was my opinion as well.
Fair enough.
Though again, Bashfeld Chin has some of the best salmon you'll ever eat, so I don't disrecommend the city. It's got an excellent food culture. Just don't necessarily trust the cheap continental travel they have on offer.
Alright, make a note of that.
When the last of you are done, he sort of claps his hands together and rubs them again. Sorry, 1 second.
Okay. Hello? My Discord isn't doing the thing, is it?
No, I was answering
why-
a DM.
It's
Yeah.
fine. My dad's roasting coffee.
Oh.
Oh, and sometimes the fire alarm goes off because it's a little bitch.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Question.
Yeah?
Not an important one. While Aster is at least skimming the NDA,
Mm-hmm.
I don't describe it as like personal touches because that's not right, but that kind of
No, I know what you mean.
yeah. Aster's sort of looking for those. Like he notices the efficiency and the I am leaving some loopholes, but they are very distinct loopholes. They are not.
I think, I mean, the efficiency is basically, like,
Yeah.
first off, this is like a 5-page contract that in many hands would be a 15.
She's
Yeah.
condensed as much as she
Really
can.
impressive.
Yeah. Also, the speed of turnaround of this. That
Yeah.
this must have been.
Yeah.
You presume there had to have been some level of like magical enhancement, whether or not that was like dictation or a little bit of time dilation or something, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Makes a lot of sense.
or
They
magic,
only had 5 days to really know what the fuck was up.
yeah, or like magical like spell check.
Yeah.
There is not a lot of personality, I will say.
Yeah.
I've seen some legal filings that have personality.
Oh yeah, they exist.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
others that are devoid of anything.
And hers is very, very strict, very by the book, very efficient. Like, if you didn't know better, like if it were not for the shocking efficiency and the clear handwritten nature of it, like it almost feels like something someone would have copied out of like a law textbook.
Yeah.
It's very dry and very just hammers out its points and gets done with.
Yeah.
Coffee time for your dad.
Coffee time.
It's so hot up here.
Oh, if I open the door, the air conditioning will come in because it's only in the hallway.
Oh, I can
For
hear the
some
beeping
reason.
now.
Yeah.
Poor souls.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
is just now blistering.
Yeah. For some reason, the air conditioning is only upstairs in the hallway, and if you don't have the doors open, you just don't get it.
That's weird.
God.
That's
Houses.
Yeah.
so
who knows?
fucked up and evil.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about either. But that is the way that it is. At least for me and my brother's bedroom.
Anyway. Sorry, crinkling bag from goldfish now.
Golden fish.
Golden fish.
Chihu is very much just, again, sort of clap the hands, like, well, if that's that all taken care of, I don't want to steal much more of your time. I do appreciate this.
The feeling is mutual.
If I might make one more suggestion.
Julius will kind of lift an eyebrow a little bit in a go on gesture.
Well, I and many people here, excluding certain company, are very grateful to you and your companions' actions, and you are always welcome, and I might keep you all in mind should the office need certain contracts fulfilled.
Sure.
I would recommend that for maybe the next month, while things move here, it might be best if you were outside city limits.
That's fair.
Again, you are always welcome, and you don't have to leave.
It will just be
But I
hard
would
for us to
suggest
lay
it.
low. Yeah.
I really don't want you
I
to feel
mean-
like I'm kicking you out.
Weren't we planning on moving on as is?
That's grandly convenient.
It's sort of looking at the rest of the party. It's like, out of character, weren't we planning on going to harass Irene's grandchildren? Out of character, Asta is not.
Yeah.
That
I
is the
don't
plan I was
know.
aware of.
Yeah.
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 It was like a loose
But-
thing because Granny wants to see her grandchildren, or at least keeps saying she should, and we're like, yeah, we'll go see your
Yeah.
grandparent or your
I
children.
think even if we weren't necessarily going to the grandchildren, I think the plan was still
to go
somewhere else.
Yeah, for a little while at
Yeah.
least, because we don't need to be in Horitari any longer.
Although, before we go, Julius should spend at least a day with the family.
Yeah, he's already spent a little bit in the 5-day time with them. Like, he's left you
Mhm.
guys
Yeah.
alone to do that. So he might spend some time with Shinohara for a little while. 'Cause she's gonna need the moral support after what he threw on her the other day.
But yeah, Chihu's like, well, that is convenient. If and when you do return, though, I would love to know.
Of course. And it should be easier for me to be able to contact you. There's an ability that quite a few of us share at this point now. We're able to send messages to people that we've been in contact with. If we end up near or at the city, he'll kind of like look at his, in a way at least we'll know.
Ending, yes. And he looks over at Sumi again. He goes, "You'll get them clearance for that sort of thing." And she nods. And he turns back. "Which of you have that spell?"
Julius point to himself, point at Alex and Irene.
Raise the hand.
I think Aster can too, right? Or do you not have that? I don't remember.
Well.
Yeah, clerics
Aster
get
can.
sending.
Yeah. So all four of us can do it.
So, he kind of motions to the four of you to Sumi, and she nods, and she kind of scribbles something down on a piece of paper.
Nice.
Don't abuse it. I wouldn't want to lock you out of it.
Julius pauses for a moment and he's like, hold on a moment. There's a way to block that.
Yes. To a somewhat, standard degree.
I'm pretty sure all of us are smarter than that.
Well, I'm just
So,
curious.
yeah,
There
that
was, I only recently learned that that would be a thing. There was somebody I hadn't once known that I wasn't able to contact through ascending, so curious.
It could be something very similar. I can't give you very many details on how.
That's
It's a bit
fair.
of a state secret.
That's alright. I'm not looking to dig into your secrets. It was just a surprise to me is all.
Sumi kind of, if one desires, there are many ways to block or inhibit certain magical effects from taking place.
Alright.
It sometimes takes effort, but it can be done. And Shumi goes, yes. Chihu goes, yes, I know how they've explained it to me, although I must say I am not a learned arcane scholar. I leave that up to certain advisors.
Julius nods a little bit and he's just do appreciate the arcane. I do appreciate the arcane arts. I think they're interesting, but
As do I. I never had a brain or an interest to learn myself.
my talents are innate. And he kind of grins a little bit.
Politics and economics took enough of my college education
That's fair.
to devote any.
Well, thank you kindly for your time. Aster will bow to probably individually to everyone except Walsh. Well, no,
You've been
he bows
demoted.
to Walsh, but it is not as it is not as deep as the bows he offers to.
Yeah, no.
Chihu offers, again, that very similar, like, superior to inferior bow. In way, kind of waves you off a little bit. Like, you don't have to do that to me.
You're my friend. You're my kid's friend. Stop it.
Yeah. Sumi does not bow, but she also does not react.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Julius does a similar, but he pointedly does just blatantly ignores Walsh because he doesn't care about him anymore. You're taken care of by Julius standards. I don't need to deal with you anymore.
Insight check. Walsh reacting to me.
You may.
That's another 17.
Ooh.
He's pissed.
Yes!
he's very much like, that's where my shit went. Oh
and
my
your money,
God.
bitch.
No, don't need shit.
And you can very much feel the, like, mental calculations of, like, what happens if I say something?
Do you want to
Julius
try it,
kills
buddy?
you on the spot.
And he decides, no, I can let this go. It's just plate armor.
Very nice. Plate armor.
Do you think he doesn't have the money to buy himself a new, nicer set of plate armor?
Good.
I'll fucking take it again.
Be broke.
He can try.
Oh, come at us
I'll
again,
just have
Walsh.
nicer armor.
We'll show up at the Emperor's Court just to rob him of his fucking plate armor again.
Yeah, if he comes up again, we're robbing him again. That's just how it's gonna be. Come back, Walsh, we'll steal from you again. Sorry.
Inway, kind of, well, if that's alright, I'll see them out. And Shihu very much nods and goes, when you're finished, come back down Inway. I want to discuss a couple more things with you. And she nods. And there is a moment where, as she is starting to gather you up to lead, she glances over in Wolf's direction.
Mm-hmm.
You were all expected, yes. And Sumi would not have let you leave. Even if you just like X. You can use a fake name, you can X, you can do whatever. But there's a moment where she looks over at Wolf, and the more insighty among you, and even then, it's probably not hard to tell for the rest of you, there is such a smug Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
Fuck him.
And she turns on one heel away from him and walks you up the stairs.
Yeah, I feel like Julius offers his arm to her as she goes.
She will take it.
Yeah, puts a little hand on top of it and just walks with her.
And as you are all led upstairs, you can hear Chihu go, Thomas?
As Alex walks out, he will give one glance at Walsh. Head just like a slight head tilt of like, you did this to yourself, and then walk back out.
Yes, that's my cowman!
And then
God.
again, you just hear Chihu just, Thomas? And you hear Wolf just go, yes, Kyo? And that is all you can hear.
Get him.
Get his ass. You brought this on yourself, my guy.
He did.
Get demoted, you sick fuck. And divorced.
And divorce.
The 2 Ds.
Epic divorce.
Epic divorce. Literal. That's what the title of this is going to be, is epic divorce. I think
Epic
it's
Walsh
earned.
divorce.
As she leads you up the stairs, there is a grin on Inway's face.
Julius like squeezes her hand and grins back at her. This is exactly what I wanted. It's not as much as I wanted, but I think it's wonderful.
She just nods at you. And it is like there is a weight off of her shoulders.
Yeah, Julius, the hand that he's got, like, her hand on his arm or whatever, he just kind of, like, brings it up to kiss the back of her hand a little bit. Like, it's that, like, excited, like, you know, like, yeah. He's excited for her. And what that means for all of them.
She responds and leans over and gives you a little kiss on the forehead.
Aww.
Aww.
Julius is very happy. His eyes are bright. You haven't seen this man so delighted in a while.
She leads you back up into the courtyard of the temple. And when she does, there is a moment where she steps outside in the sunlight and she looks up at the sky, and you just see her like take a big breath in and release. And she looks down at you, Julius, and once again you turn out to be my miracle.
Oh, that's sweet. I don't know. I'm glad I could be. At least somebody.
She once again takes like your head in her hands and like presses her lips against your forehead.
Julius just closes his eyes. And it's very reminiscent of that time way back in the very beginning of us, where he was sitting on that kind of patio space and just sat there with his eyes closed, enjoying the sun for a moment by himself. Basking in it for a moment.
And she just says, still pressed up against you, just, you will say goodbye before you go again, yes?
Of course. I wouldn't dream of not letting you know. I don't think, Mom would let me live that down. There's a lot of people I can't, let down anymore. I'm done with not saying goodbye.
You feel her nod, and she rests her cheek on sort of the top of your forehead for a moment.
Mm-hmm. He kind of like bows his head a little bit so that she can do that.
And then she sort of lets go. And she looks up and down. Don't tell your mother and Agathon this, but I think you look better without a shirt.
Oh, hey, there's always this option. And he kind of like opens the kimono just a little bit, like he adjusts the like the front sash a little bit so it's a little bit more like untucked, and like pulls open the chest just a little bit, and he is still wearing that the pendant of Lede, the older one.
Mm-hmm.
And he grins a little bit. Happy medium.
Her eyes light on it and looks up at you and just goes, wait a moment, come with me.
Oh boy. Yeah, he'll go with her. He like gives like a backward glance at the rest of you and is just gonna go follow his mom.
We'll wait.
Alright.
She's not paying attention to any of you. God bless.
Yeah. That was probably more of a call at Julius.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a call to reassure Julius that...
He just waves you guys.
She starts leading you towards what the main temple building, but before you reach the door, she sort of swerves and starts to lead you back around the building towards where the oh my god, what is the word? I just had the word. Japanese temples. There's the main temple home, and then there's the sacred building behind that holds relics and things.
Fuck.
Actually, no.
I know what you talk about. Or
Y'all know what I'm talking
about. Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know the name of it though.
When the word comes to me, I'll like type in large caps.
Yes. As one should.
But she leads you to that building, which is a building you have never been in before, Julius.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very small, especially compared to the other temple buildings. And there are a couple of the Lion Guard statues outside the front entrance. And she pulls you up to it, and on the pathway in front of it, she very quickly takes her shoes off and dunks her hands in the washing bowl outside the building, and motions for you to do the same.
Alright, Julius will do that. He's kind of like smiling a little, like, not nervously, but like what is going on, kind of amused but also confused.
And she leads you inside. She shuts the door behind you, and you are in this sort of small rectangular space that is not necessarily filled, but very well sort of decorated by objects you have heard of but never seen. Well, except for one.
Oh.
The carrying case for the tapestry rests in on a small table off to one side. It is empty, but there it rests.
Excuse me.
And there are a couple of other things in this temple, in this little relic house. In the center, there is a set of mummified remains.
Oh.
Sat up in a prayer position. Dressed in a very old but plain kimono. And a very traditional sort of Chalassian sun hat. One of those very long, wide-brimmed ones.
Ooh, yeah.
And the body is decked with symbols and charms and objects, and all of that together. This is a body that at one point must have belonged to some sort of high priest or learned monk of the faith, or even just a holy man of the city, maybe. And you remember in some of your young education, a sort of glanced over but mentioned thing about certain very dedicated holy folk who sacrifice their lives in order to make their body a sort of standing relic of good fortune and protection. And you had been told that the temple had one, but you've never seen it before.
Oh.
They are sort of sat on a pedestal. Around them, little wooden box almost, with the one front side open. The inside of the box painted with fading colors, but you can see what must have at one point been some sort of relief image of maybe a myth or a story or a defining event of this person's life, though you can't really tell without close study what it would depict. In front of the body, there is a small bowl. Inside looks like incense ashes, and in front of the bowl is a small sort of white tablet that has sort of something on either end that you would know would be used to sort of hold down pieces of parchment for writing.
Uh-huh.
For various rituals or various rites or blessings performed in this space. Off to the right, there is an old easel with a very old blank canvas sort of set up, and to the left there is a potter's wheel, devoid of clay, but there, and in working condition. And in front of the pedestal that holds the body, there is a smaller sort of stand that holds one last relic, which looks like an old paintbrush made out of bamboo.
Oh, that's the ritual.
Fine hairs. And your eyes are drawn to it, Julius. Because you've seen this one before in your mother's hands.
Mm-hmm.
Used for various rituals, but most notably for the rest of your friends, the only time they would have seen it would have been used to paint portraits for the Harvest Festival.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the portrait for the Harvest Festival that the priestess paints every year before it is ripped up and given to local farmers for blessing.
Mm-hmm.
And as Inway starts to go for where the easel is, you are looking at this paintbrush, and you realize it doesn't quite match your memory of it.
Mm.
Particularly the bristles, which you remember being very fine hairs. You don't remember what animal from, but remember them being a beautiful golden color. Seem a little dull.
Huh.
Beside the easel, there is a set of painting equipment kept there. A palette, a set of paints, a paint knife, and then a roll of paintbrushes wrapped up in a piece of cloth.
Would the discoloring of those bristles, that wouldn't strike me as like, this might have been like stored incorrectly or something, right?
No, it looks stored correctly. But you're still a little confused because it doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And then it kneels on the floor. Everything good?
Yeah.
Kneels on the floor and opens that rolled piece of cloth and reveals a set of paintbrushes. Newer. You would know that the ones kept for these rites are not old, usually, but newer ones that have been through blessings and are replaced when needed.
Mm-hmm.
And so you see 1, 2, 3, the biggest brushes sort of start to emerge. And as it's rolled out in front, she sort of scans it, and she alights on one of them. And she reaches in and she pulls it out. And you realize why the paintbrush on the pedestal looks wrong. Because it's not actually the real one.
Oh.
Because Inway pulls the real one out of a hiding spot.
Now, why did you do that?
She looks at you. I must admit, there were many times I grew afraid that her sacred items would become the next target of a cleanup, she says.
Much like all the paintings he took from the original Unto Temple.
She nods.
Julius's jaw sets a little bit at that.
Nothing was ever touched. But I don't know how long that would have stayed. And she stands and she brings the paintbrush over to you, Julius. And the fake is surprisingly well done.
Yeah.
If it were not for how closely you had seen this thing as a child, you might not have noticed the difference.
Yeah, because he was literally, like, right next to her while she did her paintings.
Mm-hmm. And you can see just how much more the bristles on this one glint, and how much finer they are, and how much better they sit together. There's no fraying. And she holds it in one hand, and she breathes for 1 second. You're a grown adult now, Julius. You know there are things that are more complicated than just what should and shouldn't be. There are people who think they can overwrite the will of gods. Thomas Walsh was one of those attempts. And while I am so glad he is gone, or will be soon, I don't know what comes next. And she takes your hand and she puts Liday's paintbrush in it and closes your fingers around it.
I feel like he does the slow intake and holds his breath. He, like, looks at it and then looks up at her like, are you serious? Mother, this is a relic of the temple.
It is. And it needs to be kept safe.
Why would it be safe with me? He looks down at it again.
Because then the only person who will know exactly where it is you.
Oh boy, he looks conflicted.
She looks down at the symbol around your neck, and Our Lady still considers you one of hers. And as best as I am her will on earth, on here. And you have kept so many of her other things safe.
Gently in his hand, he just kind of runs his fingertips along the shaft of it. Just...
It is made of carved bamboo.
yeah. He has never been allowed to hold this item, so he's like, Jesus Christ. I think it takes him a long moment to be able to respond to her. And then he kind of looks up and gives her just the smallest slight smile and just... Well, I can't argue with the High Priestess, now can I?
Or your mother.
Or my mother. And he just kind of fully grasps it in both hands.
It will be safe with you. There are very old divine magics in it. You need not worry about it getting burned or drowned or any simple magical or mundane damages.
I was going to ask if I needed to buy a safe box for this. I'll do my best to keep
A
my
thin
mind
sheet of lead will also keep it safe from scrying. The walls of this building are lined with it.
Well, I may have to invest before I leave the city.
Might be smart.
It's what I'm known for. And he kind of taps his head a little bit.
She kind of has a little bit of a twinkle in her eye.
Does...
And
yeah, go ahead.
she just... Keep it between us.
He kind of sits up a little bit straighter and does like the kind of how do I explain it? Like the kind of like dutiful person like facade of this will never leave this room. And he might be playing at the character at this moment, but he is dead serious.
She nods and lets go of your hand. And sort of releases the breath. Well, the replacement has been blessing the city for nearly 2 decades now. I don't think they'll notice a few more years.
Well, if you ever need it back, I'll just... Well, I'm sure you could find somebody to send me a message.
I will.
Or I can just periodically do updates.
Well, I'd hope you would update me anyway. I'd like to know how you're doing.
He gives her a soft smile and nods. At least twice a month. I think we'll do fine.
Really? Twice a month for your mother?
I could make it 3.
She gives you another look.
He's giving her shit at this point. Motherfucker's gonna call his mom at least twice a week. Jesus. He's giving her shit.
And she's giving you shit back when she's like, if you deem that suitable enough for your own parents.
He's chuckling at this point.
I suppose one can't argue everything. He's very much playing up the, scorned, passive aggression.
Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't want to get into the semantics. Anyways. With all seriousness...
I can't believe you're so much like your father for never having met him.
Oh, some things just run bone deep, I suppose. Or blood deep.
Mm.
He kind of, scratches his head a little bit, and he's like, I am really a wonder at what the hell I can do, though, honestly. Never studied magic a day in my life, and yet I have this.
That is the way for some people. And for some people, it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Your father would tell you he's never studied his magic either. Although maybe that's something else you got from him.
Maybe.
Might be his lineage in Ophaniel as well.
He pauses for a second. Hold on. Is Ophaniel not...
She looks at you.
The blue eyes make sense.
I assumed Agathon would have told you.
He did not? The fucking idiot.
She has just a fond exasperation.
Bitch, I was right about Ophaniel not being Walsh's at all. Fuck you!
Thomas is willing to believe a lot of things that he wants to believe.
Julius
We'll put it at
just
that.
grins. I knew it didn't make sense.
Let's not leave your friends waiting too long.
Oh, yes. Julius just kind of one last. He tucks the paintbrush away safely, probably within his kimono for now, and he's going to give her a kiss on both cheeks.
She very happily accepts. And will lead you back out into the sunlight to the rest of your friends.
Yes.
And I will type a magical item cheat for you.
Yo!
Uh-oh.
I get Holy Relic?
Yes.
Julius
You
is
do.
shitting himself. He's going to cherish that fucking item.
This is your big reward for completing the arc in a good ending.
That's sexy. I can't wait.
There will be similar rewards for everyone else
Hell yeah.
when their arcs occur. Shannon is dying, and I do not have good
no.
access to a plugin.
Oh no.
And I think Amy has
So
to go
is that what
soon
you're writing
anyway.
your session?
Yes. Because I think Amy has to go to anyway, then I'd only have 3 players, and I don't want to do that. Boo, Xark, sorry.
Oh.
I am gonna have to. I mean,
Hmm.
I say do Ix out because Ix out will be amazing, but also traumatizing.
Yeah, God.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
Asta
to head off in the
does
next
want
15
to
minutes.
actually. Yeah. Asta wants to ask Inoue how Ophaniel's been doing over the past few days.
Also, Parker.
Hello?
Oh,
Sorry.
I think Parker may have died because Shannon dying, maybe?
Possibly. That's fine. I'll send it to chat.
Yes. Sorry,
Oh, is Shannon dead?
Shannon died.
Oh, there is power strips.
Oh, there's power strip over there.
Yeah. There's also an outlet way over there.
Her core does not.
There's not like outlets.
No, it does. It's not reaching.
Oh, yeah. This one? Is that working? There's a light on the side. Yeah.
Hi. Give me
Yay.
1 second.
We live.
Give me 1 second for as long as it takes to get Shannon back up. Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Y'all can hear me, okay.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
Yes. All you need. God, I feel so vindicated on the fact that it's not fucking Walsh's child at all. I was right! I was wrong about whose child it was, but I was fucking right, guys.
Cast Revivify on Shannon, okay.
Yay. I knew I knew when I asked you what color their eyes were, and you said blue. I was like, that's not Walsh's child. Unless we're working with recessive genes. Gold eyes plus green eyes does not equal blue eyes. Shakes them, anyways.
That's a fun story, by the way. I'll give it to you meta-wise.
Ophaniel spawned.
I hope that they just like knocked Walsh out and made him think that he did the deed, and Agathon was like, do.
No, actually, legitimately, when Inoue found out she was pregnant, she got Walsh super drunk.
Yes!
Had them wake up in bed together and was like, whoops!
Oh, fuck yeah!
Oh my god!
That's my mom! Oh my god, I love her. I love her so much.
That's great.
Why do you think Agathon was there in the city?
Yeah. She's like, please help.
No, literally, Ravetta calling up Agathon was less, I need you to come help with the kid. It was, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Inoue's new husband wants a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, that was my thought.
Yeah, I was kind of sitting here like, there's no way that man has any bed game.
Walsh cannot fuck.
It's illegal.
Okay, we're not that is the fuck playlist guy.
Yeah, he's that one. He's that,
We're in,
yeah.
like, 10,
Oh my god.
15, so I don't know if you want, we can like grab stuff and bring it back up. if you-
No, I'm about to be done because Amy has to leave and then I'll give like 3 players and I don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Walsh is officially, canonically, was in a sexless marriage for 20 years.
Nice.
Fuck yeah.
L.
Anyway.
Still fucking suck. Asta does want to check in on how Ophaniel's doing before we. Yeah, even just asking in a way, like, hey, how's Ophaniel?
She tells you, Ophaniel is, adjusting to some things.
Mhm.
They're doing okay. They just lived a very certain life for 17 years, and it has very rapidly changed. And Ophaniel is... I wouldn't say they're a unique child, because there are many children like them, but they are a little different from most children in a couple of ways.
Autism.
Autism.
Yeah.
We are doing our best.
Fair enough.
They are like okay, you know. They're not. There's nothing wrong, but
The nods in understanding. They just got their world upended 4 different ways
yeah,
and have to process.
yeah. So they're not very super feeling up to guests right now. Though if you wanted to speak to them before you left, I could make that work, but I don't think just dropping in on them without warning goes super well.
Well, we could plan to leave in 2-3 days, and at some point in there, arrange a time for those of us who want to speak to them. Give them time to mentally prepare.
She nods. That would
Emotionally prepare, I think.
Yeah.
that would probably be for the best.
And I'll probably visit at least once in the next couple days before we leave. And most definitely let you know when we are leaving, so I can say my goodbyes.
She nods. I do want to see you back before the next 20 years.
I won't be gone that long, at least not on my own will.
Good.
I don't want to miss out on watching them grow up, to be honest. And spending more time with all of you while I have it.
Well, Ophaniel has... They're almost 18. They have a lot of growing up to do. Not of their own fault, but...
There's a lot to be learned, but... well, if I have all of you, I think it'll be okay.
Thank you. And I didn't mean that about them in a bad way. It's just...
Thomas did a lot of damage.
He did. He did.
Yeah, there's a bitterness in Julius's face at that.
Well, if it takes you 20 years to come home, I will not stop Rivetta from killing you, so... just keep that in mind.
Like I said, not of my own volition. If anybody else keeps me away, it's their fault. I think she should hunt them down instead.
Well, you'll have to make that argument yourself. Let's hope that's not an argument to be made.
Well, I wouldn't put that out in the universe. They can't have me.
Inway does thank all of you individually.
Oh, bless her.
And when she sends you back out into the city, she does send you all with packets of food for lunch.
Mom!
Good.
And I think that is where we're going to call session.
Alright, cool.
Sorry,
Fuck
DM,
Walsh.
DM admin,
Yeah.
wrap up.
Get cocked. Literally.
Fuck Walsh. Get cucked.
Get fucked. Oh my
To
god.
be